Welcome to Synthaholic Games, the only news show brave enough to rip itself off from the main podcast as a spin-off show.
We're true like Hollywood executives at this point.
Yeah, we're trying to figure
We're
stuff.
rebooting and remaking.
Yeah, and because we had issues where I don't know if people were tuning in for everything between our podcast and our news segments because we talked about movies and really niche movies sometimes, and then had our video game talk in front since Brian and I are big gamers. So now we are just gonna nip that in the bud. Games is its own separate video now. Boom. There we
Done.
go.
That was
Done.
easy. All right. Thanks for coming, everybody.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming to our TED Talk.
Thanks for coming. Have a good day.
All right, but we had a couple things we wanted to talk about. It's been a long time, so
None of it's on time or topical.
Well, I mean, some of it's relatively topical.
Okay. Well, let's start off with the oldest one then.
Well, the first thing I have pulled up is the Xbox one. An Xbox multi-platform plan shouldn't be surprising fans as much as it is.
How do you feel about exclusives going away from Xbox if that does happen? Because apparently that's not the popular opinion. Is how dare they?
Well, it's the popular opinion because people liked Xbox for some reason. I'd never personally understood why anyone wanted an Xbox in the first place. Back when the original Xbox was announced, I was like, why the hell would anybody want a
Halo?
No. Why would anyone want a system from Microsoft? It's just got a blue screen of death on them.
Oh,
that was my thought process of like, this blue screen of death was super common back when the first Xbox came out.
Yeah.
I mean, Windows has gotten better about it lately, but BSODs were just
it happened a lot.
They happened so often back then. I'm like, why would anyone want something from Xbox? It never made sense to me. And privately, you and I, Brian, we've had our share of talks about how I don't think Game Pass is making as much money as they claim it is, and I feel like this is absolutely proving that they're not making as much money as they need, so they need to sell their games on other systems. They've lost the console war like two times in a row. I mean, technically they lost it 3 times in a row because I guess PS3 eventually did outsell the Xbox. When you talk about raw,
it was around longer though, wasn't it?
The Xbox 360 came out a year early, and a third of the consoles broke. So I don't know how that number skews into how many Xboxes that were sold because people had to buy other Xboxes. They didn't get it, fixed.
I still think overall Xbox 360 won that generation. Even if it's not by sales, culturally and popularity wise, that people more or so went with the Xbox than a PlayStation at that time.
Sure, but PlayStation 3 also came out a year later and at $600, which was a big uphill climb. But by the end of the console war of that period, PS3 did beat it in sales. But PS4 and PS5 have just dominated the last two generations.
Well, yeah, now they're done. It doesn't help that they don't make games either. So I don't know what they're gonna port over 2 games that they have that are exclusive.
Yeah, and Xbox just hasn't been having a good time. I mean, it seems like every single time they buy a game developer, they fire a bunch of people, then games don't actually end up coming out. Or when they do come out, it's Redfall.
They gotta hit those revenue markets, man. Those revenue targets for the year. It happens every year. It's always the games industry gets destroyed because they need to hit those revenue things, and now everybody's making live service garbage games that come out, and those don't make any money, so then they're not hitting their revenue targets, so then they gotta fire people. We're in a perpetual loop right now.
Yeah, we need to get out of this live service loop of death. It's just kind of getting disgusting.
I don't hate live service games. I hate bad games. There's some games that are live service that are fine as long as the monetization isn't crazy bad, but there's also, it seems like companies are just let's make a live service game just because the big ones make a ton of money and maybe we can copy that, but that's not how the world works. You can't just make a live service for everything, expect people to play it.
Well, yeah, I mean the problem is live service games just take up so much time. Most people can't play 3 or 4 live service games and play anything else. I mean, Live service games are
Yeah.
designed to each as much time from you as possible, and that's just not particularly fun. Me personally, I want a big JRPG kick this year. I've almost done with Like a Dragon. I want to replay Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Final Fantasy 12, Final Fantasy 13, Final Fantasy.
You just want to play
Yeah,
Final Fantasy. It
I
sounds
want to play a
like
lot
it's
of Final Fantasy. But I also want to play Near Automata. I need to finish God
well,
of
okay. How
War.
about this? You just want to play Square Enix games.
Square Enix game. I play a lot of Square Enix games. I also want to play Bayonetta, some couple Nintendo games, Bayonetta 2 and 3.
Well, you're gonna have to wait for that. But yeah, I think going back to the exclusive thing, I get people. The popular opinion is to have exclusives. I still am on the boat that you are, where we don't want any exclusives anywhere at any time at any moment. Just put games everywhere, and then ultimately, I don't want. I mean, ultimately, I guess people wouldn't like it, but I mean, a PC would just end up winning everything if it was if no games were exclusive to anything. There'd be some company that like Valve. There'd be some company that just makes one thing that'll just play everything, and it's easy to use. And it'll
Yeah.
be like the Steam Deck.
I mean, personally, I think everything should be on PC anyway. And, like, some people don't like PC gaming. Some people just want the simplicity of I have my console, I put my disc in, and it works. Um, that's fine.
Yeah,
I mean, options need to be there. I don't think one thing should be the only thing. Personally, I'm gonna primarily game on PC whenever I can, because I just enjoy that. And personally, currently, I don't own a couch, so I have to play games in bed, and I don't like doing that. So, because that's just where my TV is and my PlayStation is right now. So, I just personally prefer to play things on PC, because I've got my
yes.
nice Secret Labs chair and desk,
Nice monitor, nice
1440p
computer.
monitor. It's just
You got
I
horrible
got
hardware for your
I got
peripherals.
I got my Tifa mods. I got all sorts of stuff going on. So I mean, it's great. PC gaming is what makes me happy. But whatever makes someone else happy is where they should game. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah. Uh, the fact that
What
people
do
are
you?
upset that Xbox is going multi-platform, people are like Xbox betrayed us, and I'm like, why would you ever think Microsoft, one of the most rich companies in the world, why would you think they wouldn't follow the money?
I think it. As a side note, but I think Microsoft briefly overtook Apple as the most valuable company on the planet. So they're number two, if not number one at sometimes. Sometimes they're number one.
They're up there, and that's the thing.
I mean, they own Windows. Why is anybody surprised? It's
why is
like
anybody surprised Microsoft would just follow the money?
it's
It
yeah, yeah. It is what it is. But exclusives, get rid of them completely. I want games being put everywhere. I guess that's really my piece.
well,
That's all I got.
as far as the Xbox goes, so we can also kind of continue on to Starfield. That was one of my most anticipated games of the year, and people are mad that it's coming to PlayStation. I'm like, I'm just gonna feel really, really bad if they
We're gonna go
decide
through the whole thing again. Now all the Sony pony people are gonna play Starfield and be like, "Wow, this game's not good."
this game's not good. Yeah, there was so much like Xbox people dunking on PlayStation people for not getting Starfield, and Starfield is mixed. For a while, it was mostly negative, so I guess we're getting a couple of good reviews in there to bring that up to mixed. But um, for me, Starfield was my most anticipated game of 2023, and it was a massive, massive letdown. Let me tell
Yeah.
you, that game was mid at best in every single possible way. I wanted to like it. I loved Fallout 4, loved Fallout 3, really enjoyed Skyrim,
Are
and
you tired? Why was it bad to you? Because we haven't really talked about it too much. Are you just tired of that like same old copy paste with space now?
well,
Like,
the thing is,
what do you want from a Bethesda game?
it's
Because that
it's
was a Bethesda game. You
it's
got a
not.
Bethesda game.
The problem is it's a major step. Like, I guess every Bethesda game has always been a major step back from the previous ones, but this one was like the most egregious of them. Like, there's no limb dismemberment system. Like, the gore is way toned down. You can't strip people of all their stuff. Like, that was the cool thing. That was one of the coolest things about Bethesda games. Like, whenever you shot and killed someone and Fallout 3 or Fallout 4 or Skyrim, what they had on them was lootable. Like if they looked like they were wearing this kind of armor, that's what they had on them. And if they shot you with a fat man, they had a fat man on them. Like their inventory was what they had. And it's not like
Yeah.
that in Starfield. You can't strip their armor off. You can't strip, like it's just it's almost like it's an M-rated game, but it's like I don't know why. I don't think there's really that much cussing in it either. Like I don't blood is very toned down. It doesn't feel like an M-rated game.
All it does
And
is take one. All it takes is a
the
5-minute side thing that can make it rated M.
they the game's a major step back, and the crafting system is more annoying and more tedious. You can't like Fallout 4 taught me to pick up everything because everything was useful. That's not the way it is in Starfield. You have to do yes base building, which I mean there's base building in Fallout 4, which I didn't mind, but the thing is base building in Starfield's for extracting resources, and not every planet has every resource. So you have to set up like multiple ones on multiple planets to get the resources you need, and it's a whole rigmarole to get stuff done. It's like what Todd Howard said. Like we designed this game to be a long time to play, and I feel like that just came down to it being tedious. They just tried to make the game as tedious to keep people in it longer, and that's not what made Skyrim fun. That's not what made Fallout 4 fun. They were fun games that people just wanted to spend time in, and Starfield not that.
Oh man, that's
Unfortunately.
you're hurting Todd Howard's feelings right now, and I'll hurt him even more. Todd, I hate all your games. I don't like you. Oh yeah, I am a Bethesda hater. I had really no hope for this game being good in the first place because all of them have been bad. But the trailer looked cool.
I mean, it did look cool, and like the one good thing about Starfield was the ship building custom. It was cool. It was limited, but it was cool for what it was. I hope they expand upon it and make it better. I hope they make the game better.
You're gonna go back and do a replay of it?
I haven't even finished my first play of it, so I mean,
boy, does it matter if they fix any of this stuff? Is that gonna change your mind? You're not gonna go like you put 100 hours into the game, didn't you, or something like that?
I've got
60,
close.
something?
I've got close to 100 hours into it.
Yeah. So are you telling me they're gonna fix stuff and you're gonna be like, time to start a new playthrough?
Oh, I haven't even finished my current playthrough. I never finished.
I know,
the
but that's
game.
what I mean. If they get any new updates in or new
that's
additional
the thing.
features or whatever.
The main feature of the game is New Game Plus. So I mean, like I can just pick up my current character, finish the game, and then see if there's anything new from.
What a stupid way to do a game, man. That's so dumb.
I guess you don't like Nier Automata. You have to New Game Plus that game like 4 or 5 times to beat it.
I do like Nier, but Nier's also like a good game though.
Okay. Well, there's that.
I mean, New Game Plus is fine. I don't have a problem with New Game Plus, but I have a problem with like you have to play 100 hours of a Starfield game to get to New Game Plus to get the new stuff that's already not probably that great in the first place. For Nier, the game's just good through and through. Like it's just good the whole time.
And then I think you can beat the whole game in like under 40 hours, beating it multiple times.
And Nier?
And getting the actual ending, yeah. Like
Nier you can beat to get the actual. I mean, you can beat the game in 5 minutes. That's one way to beat the game. There's ways to beat the game pretty quick,
yes,
but
it's
a good game.
Yeah,
it's a good game. Not like Starfield.
Not like Starfield.
But yeah,
Starfield was just a massive disappointment. Like it just everything. It made me want to play Fallout 4 more because
that was the point of the game.
It was a major step back from Fallout 4 in just about every way possible. Like just the procedural world was really boring. The quest design was worse than
everything else.
People complain about the creation engine, and I'm like, they just have the writing in the game was abysmal. People just
well, I mean, the engine needs to be.
It was actually a lot like that Putin talk that you were talking that you wanted me to watch the other day.
I did not say you to watch it. I did not like it either.
You wanted me to watch the Putin. Basically, sum up. Putin spoke a lot, but didn't really say anything, and that's exactly what Starfield's like.
Are you saying Starfield is Vladimir Putin?
Whoever wrote Starfield's very much like Vladimir Putin. They speak a lot, but they say almost nothing. Like it's just
absolutely nothing. Nothing that matters.
Nothing. They talk a lot, but none of what they say matters. It was pretty pretty painful to sit through the dialogue in Starfield. It's not interesting. The lore isn't good. It's yeah.
It's rough.
Apparently some of the best parts of the game I haven't even gotten to yet. Like when
Oh,
you
it
actually
only okay.
like I've heard that when you get to go to see the NASA stuff and actually get the backstory of the game, it's like at the very end of the
Yeah,
game. And I've heard that's some of the best stuff. I didn't even get there because I burnt out on the game before before that happened.
before you got there.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Um,
Well, that's Starfield.
yeah, it's Starfield. And then we also we're talking about how live service games are just some of the best stuff in the entire world. And I know we spoke about this before when we podcasted, and how I was now no longer excited for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League once I found out it was a live service schlock.
And guess what? It came out and it's real bad.
What? What?
It's bad, man.
You're saying I had a good idea of how the game was going to be?
Yeah, you did. You had a hunch. I still stand by. I think it looks fine, but everything about the like the outside of it looks fine, but once you get on the inside, that's where it's a mess. That's where it's not good. Like the graphics and stuff look fine. Like there's no way anybody's gonna look at it and be like the graphics are bad. It's just the story's bad, the gameplay's not the greatest, the monetization's not the greatest. The game's already $70, so that's the problem.
And
Yeah,
I just thought this was fantastic. The link you found, Arkham Knight now has more players than Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League. It's kind of like Starfield, where it just drove people to want to play the
that's
old game.
that's insane that that game is already being beat by another one of their older games because this Suicide Squad. I don't I you've said it before, but it's like I don't know how like Rocksteady like comes back from this. It's like- they put like 8 years of work into making this game. The campaign's 10 hours long, and it has like almost no reviews on Steam because nobody bought it. So I would imagine nobody bought it anywhere. It's like what they sold like 50,000 copies and call
Well,
it a day.
well, that's the thing. I never thought this game was going to sell well, and you were like, "No, the game will sell fine." I'm like, I don't think the game's going to sell well because the damage has been done. Once they revealed that this was a live service game and not like a good single player game that also happened to has co-op, um, I thought it was doomed, and it
Well,
looks
it
like
is
it is.
it seems like it's doomed. I mean, we don't have the obviously we don't have like official numbers or anything, but everything that you can see, like a cursory glance online, says the game's doing real bad.
Well, the thing is, live service games live and die by who's spending money on it, and I would assume most people who play live service games don't spend a ton of money on it. You got like your whales and your, some people spend some money, but I mean
That's
that,
like
that
the 1%,
that's
though.
like probably less than 10% of people who like spend some money to a lot of money on a video game because it's already $70 even getting the door. I
Yeah.
mean, I can see people spending more money on a game when it's free. I'll spend $10 here, $10 there because the initial setup was free. But have you heard about how the game ends?
I have not heard about it. I don't know anything about it except
So
I mean, I heard the campaign's like 10 hours long.
yeah, so you kill the Justice League, and
Yeah.
then you kill Brainiac, and then
Yeah.
spoilers for people who don't want to know, but I'm gonna say what happens. Basically, Brainiac was talking with like I think 12 or 13 other Brainiacs from the multiverse. And so
Oh
that's how
boy.
the live service game is going to continue. You're going to have to kill different versions of Brainiac and probably different versions of the Justice League that have been corrupted by Brainiac. That's going to be the live service thing. We're just going to kill the Justice League and Brainiac over and over and over again.
What a solid experience. Oh boy.
Oh man,
One
it's
thing
like
that is a good experience though is Pal World. Well,
speak.
like that transition.
That was a
It
great
wasn't really a
transition.
transition.
Pal World is a
It was
great
good.
experience.
So, Pal World came out, and for years, this game I've known about this game for a long time, and it just felt like after you watch the trailer, like that's not a real game. That's not coming out. That's
How
gonna come out and just be like an asset flip, and then call it a day. But it turns out like there's an actual game there, David, and it's pretty much Ark and Pokemon combined into one, and they're doing a fantastic job. I don't know how many copies they've sold at this point, but it's probably going to be the best-selling video game of the year. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
it might. It's up there. It's strong contender for one of the biggest selling games of the year for sure. It's funny you mentioned it to me before it came out, and it's like, oh, you can get Power World. I'm like, what's that?
yeah, man. It's Pal World.
and then
Everybody
you
knows Pal World.
and then you went and talked to. So I looked it up. And like, oh, this looks good. Then I looked up some videos of people who got like the early access to the early access
Yeah.
gamers, and so I looked up the videos, and they said they had nothing but positive things to say about it. So we picked it up, and that's kind of been our weekend lately, playing Pal World, and it's been a lot of fun. And I assume we're playing tonight, right?
I think so.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah, it's just there's definitely I've said it to you obviously, but there's a market for Pokemon, and the market for Pokemon is huge. The issue is Pokemon doesn't make good Pokemon games anymore. They stopped doing that a couple years ago. Where they were, I understand that once they went 3D, things kind of started falling off a cliff or anything. But you and me, I think the last real, you might put time into Sword and Shield. I didn't, but like the last game that I really played was Sun and Moon on the DS, and that was the last time I played any real Pokemon games because all the new ones just suck so much.
Well, I
So when
played.
this comes out,
Yeah, I played Sun and Moon, and Sword and Shield, and I played a little bit of Arceus. And Arceus was like a breath of fresh air. I didn't finish it, but it was a breath of fresh air. It feels sort of like Power World, but just not very much you could do. But the gameplay where you can like throw the ball in real time was pretty cool, and that's kind of how Power World is.
yeah, I couldn't get past the graphics in that game.
It was rough.
People just
It was
it just
rough.
blows. I just don't understand why people don't hold Game Freak accountable for like any. They make more money than like every IP combined on the planet, and they're like, yeah, Arceus the best game like ever. It's like, did you see what it looked like? You know, this company makes $90 billion a year. Oh gosh, you know they're like 4 times bigger than GTA, right? Yeah, that's Pokemon. Obviously, I don't like Pokemon, but I do like Pal World because I did used to like Pokemon, but now I like Pal World.
Power World's great. I mean, I really, really hope this forces Nintendo to innovate, at least a little bit. Love of God, please, Nintendo.
I don't get your hopes up. Keep them low. Keep those hopes low. Keep them on the ground there, buddy.
Well, no, I mean, like, if they don't, I'll still be playing Power World, and hopefully the game goes to 1.0, they'll make an expansion for it, or make a Power World 2. I don't know. I mean, like,
You know what they're gonna do?
we know what I'm sure is going to happen is that since Power World's so popular, other people are going to try and do it.
Oh, sure. Yeah, definitely. But that won't. I mean, depending on how good it is, it'll be fruitful, or maybe it won't be fruitful.
Ubisoft will be making a Friend World.
Maybe one day we'll have to. Well, that'll be on the Ubisoft subscription service.
Oh yes, Ubisoft Plus. Oh God.
Yeah, we'll have to get Ubisoft Plus.
Another thing that's just abysmal. They're like, oh,
I mean, my guess for what Pokemon's gonna do is they're gonna make another remake of whatever the heck number they're on, or they like remake the what's the like they just made the Diamond and Pearl ones.
yeah.
What now? They'll just remake another one,
I
and then
think
they'll
I think
make new
that's
gen.
I think that's the last game coming out for the Switch. One is
Of
of a
course.
Pokemon game,
Yeah, it
and
makes sense because that's then they'll make another generation of another terrible game. They'll call it like Rainbow and whatever color they want now because they're running out of colors, I'm sure.
Rainbow and Dingleberry.
Yeah, and then they'll have some random Arceus game that comes out at some point too with like, the same game. That's what's going to happen. I stand by it.
Yeah, maybe.
And then Pal World will have sold more than all of them. Good. Excellent.
Come on, pal.
I want them to fail.
All right.
Actually, I don't want Pokemon to fail. I want them to make a good game, and which means I want the burner to be turned on high so they can, do that.
Oh, I would love, for Game Freak to make a good game, and I really hope Arceus. I mean, not Arceus. I hope Power World lights a fire under their asses and gets them.
Yeah,
to make something good.
I hope so too.
So, before we close out, what is your most anticipated game for 2024?
Well, I can't think of anything past Final Fantasy, so right now I'll have to say Final
I
Fantasy.
thought I thought Monkey Game was your most anticipated game of
Oh
the
yeah,
year.
that's right. Never mind, Monkey Game. It's hard to be. You just threw me on the spot there, man. I can't think of everything that's coming out in 2024. I guess Monkey Game is my number one right now. I don't actually know the name of the Monkey Game though. I just know there's a monkey in it, and I've been calling it Monkey Game for years.
Since I met Brian, this game has been in development for forever. Because when I met Brian at FedEx, he'd been talking about Monkey Game. Like, did you see the Monkey Game? I'm like, what? And
They, we've known about this game for like 10 years.
yeah, and I think it's coming out this year. I don't remember what it's called because
Yeah.
it's a Souls-like, so I'm not planning on getting it. But me personally, Final Fantasy Rebirth is my most anticipated game of the year by far. I'm hoping it's
That
not
we
gonna.
know of right now. I mean, who knows? But I mean, it's still early in the year. Just we don't
I
know what's coming out in
Well, sure.
like Christmas time.
I don't care. This is my most anticipated game of the year. Starfield was my most anticipated game last year, and it was a massive disappointment. Hoping this one won't be. But all signs point to it's pretty good. I've heard lots of good things about the demo. I haven't gotten to play the demo yet, but hopefully this weekend.
This weekend, huh?
Yeah, this weekend or next weekend. One of the weekends. I'm planning on playing it before it comes out. I am looking forward to it. But this
So
is
it'd
our
be
new format. I hope you guys enjoy it.
I hope so. I enjoy it too, and you.
I
I
hope
hope
I
we all
enjoy.
enjoy it.
Yeah, I hope we all enjoy it. Yeah. Let us know what you guys think. If you like a gaming news segment, or we might hone in on more specific things going forward. But since we hadn't talked about games together on the forum in about 6 7 months, we figured we kind
No,
of go through.
it's only been a couple minutes. It's
It's only
been a
been a couple
week.
minutes. No, we were only
Oh
holding
wait,
back.
that was the joke for the last thing.
That was
Oh
the
no!
joke for
Oh
Marvin.
god! Oh no! I'm sorry.
Brian can't get the multiverse connected.
Oh man, I need Brainiac. Where's the other version of Brainiac?
He's up
I need
Mario's
it.
butt, I think.
Yeah, what a gift. With that, we should close out before we get like taken down or is this illegal to put on like YouTube? I don't
I
know.
hope so. Anyway, till next time, when we do video game news exclusively here on the YouTubes and of course Twitch. We're streaming. Till next time,
Bye bye.
guys.